All right, so we love having the comedians on. I love the Miami Improv, the Dania Improv. I'm going this weekend. My wife and we're going Saturday night. We're going to check out Jeremy Piven. We're looking forward to it. Jeremy Piven joining us here. Appreciate you spending some time with us. I know you're a big sports fan. We are a sports show, so I'm going to get to some of that.
Yeah.
We'll have some fun. I know you're a big Chicago sports guy, but I
Yes.
have been waiting to talk to you because I need to talk to you about one specific question first. And you have been at the center of a debate, an argument that I have had with friends for years, okay? And you
Mm,
started it, you caused it. One of my favorite movies when I was younger, of course, is PCU, all right?
okay.
I'm a huge concert goer. I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan. I've seen them 100 times, all right? Are you telling me, Jeremy, I'm lame when I wear my Pearl Jam shirt to the Pearl Jam concert? I can't do that.
Absolutely, because I've written every movie that I've ever done. So these aren't works of fiction. These are documentaries. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. They're works of fiction. Yes, it's very astute of you in the way that I did improvise that line. Um, but Yeah, I mean, we have these fun little rules. I love that you start off with a good one. That's fantastic. No, there are exceptions to the rule. Probably Pearl Jam would be one of those exceptions. Um, I know Mr. Ed Vedder, and I don't think that I think he would be open to and would celebrate you. He is an everyman, and even though I have to say I've been on the road before and I've seen lines around the block at these stadiums, and I'm just thinking, wait, what's going on right now? Is Pearl Jam doing a matinee? And then you realize, my
Right.
God, people are standing outside for merch
Yep.
in the middle of the day, and
Posters.
indeed, and that's a testament to Ed Vedder and all the boys in Pearl Jam crushing it all these years later.
Like I'll have this too, because my friends tell me, "Nah, you're super lame, Zaslow. You can't be the guy. You can't wear the shirt at the show." Like you're telling me, Eddie Vedder's up on stage. He sees me wearing a Pearl Jam shirt. He's in the middle of singing "Daughter," and he thinks to himself, "Wow, that guy right there wearing our shirt. What a loser." There's no way he's thinking that, Jeremy.
No, he's thinking that with you, 1,000%. That's exactly what he's thinking, and that's going to be the inspiration for his next song.
I have to tell you, PCU I love, but you also, I don't know, maybe it was your first movie, maybe it was, but one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I want to know when the last time you saw the movie Lucas.
Uh, my
Jeremy, that's a
God.
great movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's funny. It's been a million years. I know you want to get into a time machine, and I think it's adorable, and I love it. The next movie I have coming out is called Sweetwater. It's about the first black player in the NBA. And the trailer is going to be released during the NBA All Star Game, and it's one of these little known kind of facts that this guy Nat Sweetwater Clifton was the first black player in the NBA, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. And the cast is incredible, and I play the coach of the New York Knicks, and so that's gonna be a miraculous experience. And the next time I come on the show with you, I won't you won't be putting me in this time machine, which is fantastic. You went back to and maybe you should tell the listeners because they're going, Lucas, wait, who are we talking to
They have
right
no
now?
idea.
Not a clue. And maybe you can help bring them up to speed, or maybe even the reason why I'm here this weekend.
Well, so like Jeremy said, my wife and we're going Saturday night, Dania Beach Improv, but Jeremy is also doing Thursday night at the Palm Beach Improv. So Thursday night, palmbeachimprov.com, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, two shows Friday and Saturday, one on Sunday at the Dania Beach Improv. What are, obviously, I'm sure you like coming down to South Florida. What are some of your favorite cities to play in right now?
I really do love it here, and by the way, the Palm Beach Improv. I mean, everywhere that I'm playing this weekend, the rooms are incredibly hot in the way that everyone is totally present and up for a laugh. And now I think, is the most important time to be doing stand-up comedy and to embrace our freedom of speech, because people are looking for, they don't want to go and see some kind of self-conscious, filtered, overcorrecting comic, that's going to tiptoe around. They want someone to kind of speak their truth and make them laugh. So I think laughter is more important than ever, and so is embracing our freedom of speech.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jeremy. We're in such a weird place now, and especially sometimes with comics, where it sounds like you're not concerned about that cancel culture bullshit. Like you're going to tell your jokes, people should laugh. Let's all have a good time. So I was glad to hear you say that. Then
Yeah, I mean, because I think one of the reasons I'm not afraid is I'm not a racist, and so I think that is, it's very empowering. I was very lucky. I actually grew up where, I don't think people really even realize that Eddie Vedder is went to school in Evanston, as did I. I know he ended up in San Diego and blah blah blah. But I'm from Evanston, which is about a stone's throw from Chicago. The end of my street was technically Chicago, so people are like, "Bro, you're from Evanston." So the not the zip code Nazis, if you will, come out.
uh-huh.
But I grew up in a very integrated area where, like, I was the only white boy on my football team, and so I got to learn right away what's really important, and I was very lucky to have the background that I had. Grew up, went to Second City, and started touring. It was with a guy named Chris Farley back in the day, and that shows you how old I am. And been lucky enough to do my thing, and people know me a lot for playing Ari Gold in Entourage. I'm just basically doing all of your homework for you at this point right now, because you put me in a time machine and took us back to the '80s with Lucas.
Like I don't want to pepper you with entourage questions because I feel like everyone probably asks Jeremy Piven about entourage. Like, do you like when people ask you about
Yeah.
it?
No, I like it when people scream I'm a douchebag because of you on the streets, or call my wife a rusty cunt bucket. Can I say that on the radio?
Yeah,
I
we're
hope so.
podcast. We're good. We're okay.
Yeah. Uh Podcast. Does this mean that it'll be out? The podcast will be out on the 12th of Never, and so
No,
they won't hear it before the.
no. Well, don't give away trade secrets to people listening right now. But I can tell the people listening right now we recorded this about an hour ago. How about that?
Oh, how dare you! I love it.
So you're okay. You're
This is
okay
one
when
of the
people
great.
yell out Lloyd when they see you in the airport.
Oh, I love it when they scream, or maybe when they smack my back at a urinal and just scream Lloyd in my ear. No, it's all good.
When
It's
did
all good.
you,
I love it.
Jeremy? When did you realize? Wow, we've been filming Entourage. We're a few episodes in. What have you? When did you realize? Wow, this show is going to be pretty freaking big.
Um, it's interesting because in the very beginning, when we started, it was kind of just before TiVo and all that kind of stuff. So I remember people, talking about going way back. I right out of college was on the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of, with Gary Shandling, that kind of launched original programming at HBO. And so I I was kind of well versed on doing a show that I thought was amazing, and I was honored to be a part of. And having it be kind of like, the way people gravitate towards the show isn't, uh you just never know how that's going to be, and it never matches up, and you can't expect anything. So that was kind of a slow burn. And then Entourage, it was very interesting because right away people started saying, "Hey, I'm gathering a bunch of people over at my house Sunday nights. We all watch it. Do you want to
Yeah.
come?" And it was like, that was the first time I was like, "Wait a minute, there are groups of people watching this show." And then I started kind of witnessing it, and I was like, "Wow, okay, we're catching on here." So I kind of liked that. Whereas today you almost know in real time when a show is going to blow up. I kind of like that I didn't really know, and he just kind of did the work, and did it and worked as hard as I could, um, and So I didn't know in real time is the long-winded way of telling you that.
I feel like, and I mean, look, obviously, all the actors and characters on that show played super important roles, but there was a point in that show where everyone kind of realized, yeah, Ari Gold, like that character is kind of becoming the star of the show. You know, like it was almost, again, every actor and every character was super important on that show, and everyone loved all the characters for different reasons. But there was a time on that show, I think you would agree, where maybe the writers realized, all right, we need to make Ari a bit more the center of attention because everyone loves this character. Am I right about that?
Well, I think what Doug Ellen was the creator of that show, and I think one of the things that Doug did so well is he got to see he would watch it and then make adjustments in real time in terms of what was working, what didn't work. Like he just saw immediately, okay, Rex Lee who played Lloyd, there's some real chemistry with Rex and Jeremy here, with Lloyd and Ari. We need to explore this more. So they would just immediately just kind of unpack that and just like, you know, Lloyd was supposed to be, a very limited kind of character. And then they understood very fast, wait a minute, these guys, these are two people that shouldn't be in the same room together. And wouldn't this be fun to have them be tied to each other? Where Lloyd was saying, Ari, you're not a friend to the gay man, Ari. So just understand that. And then, Ari would say, shut up, Yoko. And, could that exist today? It's funny. People come up to me all the time and they say, like, we would love for you guys to do a reboot. We would love to see an Ari spinoff. And, it's too bad it couldn't exist in today's climate. And I think that people just want to see something they connect with. And I think when people try to second guess these programs and tick all the boxes and try to look great and do performative gestures with their content, it's not landing with people, and that's why you have so much content and not a lot is breaking through. So ironically, I think if someone quote unquote took a chance and did some sort of reboot or spin-off or something, it would really land with people. And people miss it. I believe me. They show up at these shows that I'm doing, and they just tell me how much they miss the show. And I have a lot of stuff coming out that I'm incredibly proud of. I've been very patient. I've been putting it together a movie now for about 10 years, and it's called The Performance, and it's an adaptation from an Arthur Miller piece. And so I have finally content. It's been a minute, and it's really nice to have people say, "Hey, man, we miss you." And I've been grinding and working, and pretty soon I'm going to put out a comedy special, and it'll be very clear what I've been doing. I haven't been idle. There's not a lot of rust on me. So I've been performing and filming, and there's a lot of stuff coming out.
I know you said you've been working on this and you've been very patient. If you were to just work straight through, you're putting together a comedy special. How long does it take you to come up with that material? How long, if you work straight through, how long does it take you to put together a special?
I think everyone's different, completely different, and uh, I've been improvising and trying to get my dialogue into films and TV, since you mentioned Lucas and talk about Eddie Vedder, Singles with Cameron Crowe, and all the Seattle guys, that was totally improvised, and Rush Hour with Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker was totally improvised on my part. So even though I haven't been doing stand up all these years, I've been writing on my feet and improvising. So I've been gearing up for this. But there are guys out there like Chris Rock that say it takes them a year to get the material. Everyone's different. Probably the fastest and the most prolific, obviously, is Dave Chappelle. But for me, I work really well with deadlines. So it's like if it's open ended, I'll take forever. But if you say, listen, we need your material in a year, I'll have to have it a solid hour of material in a year. But I'm not a fan of. I've never worn mediocrity well I just don't. Um, Growing up in the theater and having my parents intrinsically say, like you have to honor the space that you occupy when you perform. It's important to do your best. And so when people show up at one of my shows, it's my job to make them and my honor to make them laugh for an hour. And they usually say to me afterwards, "We had no idea you were this funny," which is really interesting to me because I'm 200 years old and I'm 80 movies into it, and I'm thinking, wow, if I suck for 80 movies, no, it's so great to hear that because you know the idea that I could craft a show and make people laugh and it's my own material. I guess it was, you talk about music, it would be like, being, playing other people's music and being honored to play some of the best music that's available ever and so honored to do it. And then you become kind of a singer songwriter yourself and people appreciate that. It's a great feeling.
Again, Jeremy Piven here with us, of course. Palm Beach Improv Thursday night, palmbeachimprov.com, Dania Beach, daniaimprov.com, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My wife and I were looking forward. I'll tell you, look, my wife may have a little bit of a crush on you, Jeremy, because she told me she saw that you were coming here. She saw about 2 months ago. She sent me a text message in the middle of the day. You need to buy tickets right now. I need to go see Ari Gold. I need to go see Jeremy Piven. She may have a little bit of a crush on you.
You know what you need to do is you need to interview him, honey, so we don't have to pay for tickets, okay?
We like supporting. We're okay with, come on, we're all right with supporting the whole thing. I'm all right with paying for the tickets.
That's amazing. You're a rare guy. Usually I'm getting blown up saying, "Hey, can we get tickets?" And of course, being Jewish, it's hard for me to part with these tickets. No, I kid.
That's right. If I'm asking you, then all of a sudden I'm a schnurrer. Same thing over here. I want to pay. All right. I'm willing to contribute. I don't need to be called a schnurrer. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Some Yiddish for the kids on a podcast.
Before I let you go here, Jeremy, we're a sports show. I mean, we got actors and comedians on the show all the time, but I know you're a huge Chicago sports guy. Explain to me, you said you were born in Evanston, but explain to me, how do you decipher between Cubs and White Sox? How does that work?
I'm from the north side, technically. Evanston would that means that I'm a north sider. So that's and the south siders are Sox fans, and it's just so funny to me, this division when the reality is we just love our city. And they kind of throw shade at us saying the north siders are kind of like, pampered and posh and all that kind of stuff. Listen, the Cubs fans, you got to give it up to them because no matter what the record is, they're going to show up at the Cubs game.
Yeah.
And they're going to support their guys, win or lose. The stadium is in the middle of the city. There are live music venues a stone's throw away. So, and everyone's there and they're in it together. And it's one of the great parks in our country. And everyone, they call it the friendly confines because players love to play Wrigley because they knew they'd come in and win. And it's not that way anymore. The Cubs have obviously gotten better and they're working really hard and making some, my Chicago accent's coming out right now. Hardcore. We don't say, I was there for 2 or 3 days. They say, I was there for a couple, 2-3 days, guys. All right. It's hardcore. Yeah. We were voted the least sexy accent in America. So, and this is the type of stuff I will unpack for you this weekend. This type of hilarity.
I would imagine you've been through 6 Chicago Bulls championships. You've been through 1 Chicago Cubs championship. I know how important both teams are, but especially the Cubs. I feel like the 1 Cubs World Series probably equals those 6 Bulls championships. Am I right about that?
If you go to either my Instagram or my Twitter, just Jeremy Piven, it's the one with the little blue check. And that's not me taking a victory lap. I owe Elon Musk $8.
That's right.
I love having him as my landlord. It's adorable to have a billionaire landlord. But you'll see that I was just with the Bulls and they were all so sweet and it was so great to go home again. And I remember the last time I was there, I was hosting the Chicago Film Critics Awards and I want to say backstage, I went into the locker room and I interviewed Michael Jordan as they were going for their 6th championship. and everyone's asking him questions, and we're at his locker. I have my little fake credentials, my press pass, and everyone's asking these questions, and he's hanging in there. And I said, Michael, have you let the healing begin since you were snubbed at the Oscars for Space Jam? Oh man, he looked at me. He goes, "Oh, okay, you're a clown. I know you. I know you. You're a clown." I was like, "Yes, sir. I am a clown. You are an elite athlete. You are the GOAT, and I would roughly be a clown." And it was a great moment. I've run into him since then, and he's just one of these dudes where MJ can barely even go to Chicago. I mean, they're so loyal to their guys. If you played on the 85 Bears, you will never pay for a drink for the rest of your life. And they love their sports, and it's just a great town to be in.
Jeremy, finally here, why don't you tell everyone about the podcast? I know you got a good thing going there as well, right?
How You Live in Jay Piven is on a slight break right now. And the break is due to, I'll never forget it. I was in Slovakia filming my dream project, The Performance, which I'll come back and talk to you again about. I'm excited. But I broke 8 ribs, playing this character. And that's when we started to take a break with my podcast. I was on set doing a stunt. I will tell you a lot more about this next time. But so we took a little bit of a break, but How You Live in Jay Piven will be back. But, you can go and especially go to any one of my sites, jeremypiven.com or any of that stuff, and pick it up and listen to it. I've been so lucky to interview the likes of Jamie Foxx and Tiffany Haddish and a bunch of great people. And I, as you know, what it's like to do these long forms, it's just really fun. There's no real pressure to get these sound bites, and we're having these long conversations, and people are gravitating towards it because I think, technology is moving at the speed of light, but they want to hear people just speaking and talking and making that connection.
This Thursday, PalmBeachImprov.com, and 5 shows over the weekend at DanaImprov.com. Jeremy, I appreciate you hanging out with us. And before we talk next time, you're going to watch Lucas, and you're going to tell me if it holds up.
I love that you're obsessed with the first movie I ever made in the 80s when I was 11 seconds old. But you know what? I'm sure that film holds up because I just remember the script being really good, and it was my first experience on set. I was a high school football player at the Evanston High School, and I got to put the pads on again, and that was the thrill of my life. You were
typecast, Jeremy. You were typecast.
I was typecast. There you go. Charlie Sheen, a young Charlie Sheen. Dude, the only way I'm going to get through this movie is if I have a 12-pack and a big fat joint. Thank you, Charlie. Anyway, I digress. I'll see you and the wife this weekend.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you.
Take care, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Bye.